The main ashboard was wider than needed, so I used it to cut the lighter thin strips for the inlay. For the darker strips I used thermally treated ash. It has a similar texture to normal ash, so sanding doesn't leave high or low spots. Even though the blade cuts great, the saw itself isn't the best, so slow and steady is the only way to cut good veneer strips. If the board is thicker, I pass it through the thicknesser after each cut to always get one smooth side on the veneer pieces. When I have to straighten thin pieces, I use a board to raise the table of the thicknesser. By default, the minimum board thickness is around 8 mm, which is way larger than I need. Paying attention to grain direction and using small depth of cut for each pass ensure me the machine doesn't rip the thin pieces. Using my home-built CNC machine, I rounded a wavy channel in the middle of the big ash piece. I could have done this using a router and a jig, but it's much easier this way, even though it might take a little bit longer. I prefer to put more glue when working with odd shapes. This time I used PVA as it was warm outside, so the bond will be as strong as possible. In wintertime I almost always use polyurethane as it's less temperature dependent, but it does take longer to cure. Being water-based, the PVA glue also helped to soften the strips so they wouldn't crack when bent. Clamping required a lot of pressure to bend the strips, so it actually wasn't as easy as it looks. When the glue dried the next day, I flattened one side using the jointer and the other in the thicknesser. I wanted a bevel tray, but I didn't have any appropriate router bit, so the CNC came in use again. It took about an hour and there were some thin lines remaining, but it did a great job. Next time I might be able to optimize and reduce the time by about 25 minutes, but this is how I learn anyways. Using the chop saw, I cut the ends to be the exact same thickness as the longer walls. This helped a lot for the final cuts on the outside. I calculated the angle and set the bend saw at 28 degrees. That's why I had to improvise an extension for the fence. The guides of the bandsaw had to stay pretty far away from the cuts, so the blade had a tendency to follow the grain from time to time. But with good patience, the cuts came out good. I ended up with a good looking tray, even though I still had to sand it, which usually makes a huge difference. It made a great difference this time too. For the outside, I was able to use the belt sander. I used two different sanding belts, a coarse one and the finer one for the final pass. Sanding the inside took a lot longer than I shot on camera, but it was in pretty odd positions and filming was not an option. Using some food-safe kitchenware oil, I finished the tray. A simple old clean rag did the trick for applying the oil. I just love how everything changes, the grain pops and the contrast is amplified when I apply the oil. Thank you for watching. We'll meet next time with our next project, so please don't forget to subscribe.